So the customer I'd like to talk about is a transportation logistics firm that I've been working with for about the past 7 years. They were in a legacy MPLS network. They were growing, they were acquiring new locations, and they really wanted me to come in and look at improving the network and helping them improve their applications across all of their locations. So we had just installed the network, all fiber. Now we were installing hosted voice. And as part of that endeavor, we decided that we should probably put in some redundancy. So we also put in various cable circuits and fixed wireless circuits across the country. So customer has a great network now. It's robust, it's going to meet their needs. They're operating across the hosted voice platform, and they start having issues. They start having a lot of dropped calls. They start having latency, jitter, all of the things that you don't want to have happen in your voice network. We turned in trouble tickets with the carriers, and the carrier said, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with our network. We turned in trouble tickets with a UCAS provider, and they said, no, we have great MOS scores. Customers said, well, it's not our local area network, because we know that works. We were almost at our wits' end. I thought about what I could do, and I had a relationship with a company in Portland by the name of Bigleaf. And I knew their product fairly well. And I knew that they had a portion of their product that dealt with analytics.
Bigleaf is an SD-WAN service provider. We have a very specific focus on purpose-built connectivity to the cloud. Customers moving line of business applications into cloud and SaaS environments and helping them architect their network accordingly. Tricia had reached out, and she reached out to us not asking, can your SD-WAN fix this? Rather, I have a problem, can you guys help? We get these calls from partners from time to time where it's not a problem and it's not obvious what the one thing is. It is that there's something wrong and the partner needs help, the customer needs help, what can we do? Our attitude was there was going to be one of two outcomes. The perfect outcome would be we could just drop in the service and everything would go away. But we felt that from what she was describing, that probably wasn't going to be the case, that there was going to be more to it than that. And we felt it important to be very transparent and honest up front of saying, here's what we think we can do. More importantly, here's what we think we can see. Nobody really knew, was this a LAN issue? Was this an internet issue? Was this a voice provider issue? We felt that if we could get in the middle of it, we could use SD-WAN hopefully to fix some of the problems, but more importantly, use the monitoring and the visibility to identify where these things are happening and who needs to take responsibility for what to get ultimately to a resolution at the end of the day.
And so we got a demo unit into their location, talked through the process, put it in place, and all of a sudden, it was though a light turned on. They had actual statistics that were helping prove out the various problems in the network. And it turns out it wasn't just one problem.
It wasn't any one person's fault. It wasn't any one thing. We were able to identify some issues coming out of the network. Well, we could point to the customer and say, hey, we see this, can you work on that? We were able to identify some issues on the circuits, which was hard data that could be taken back to the carrier and say, hey, here's what we're seeing, can you work on that? And we're also able to identify issues between the carrier and the voice provider, say, hey guys, it looks like there's a problem over here. How do we fix this? How do we get this all together? And nobody was sitting there saying, this isn't my fault, it's your fault. It was, how do we get this fixed? How do we make the customer happy at the end of the day?
It just completely transformed the experience that the customer was having, so much so that they bought them for every location without even thinking about it, really.
To a certain degree, not fixing it immediately made a better relationship in that working side by side with everyone involved was able to put everybody on even ground and ultimately show our value beyond just a single service you drop in at one location to fix one little thing.
Everybody who wouldn't take ownership before all of a sudden had evidence standing in front of them that said, oh, we better take some ownership of this problem. And so today they have all locations operating with their primary internet connection, with their secondary network connection for redundancy, and a Bigleaf router in between, really managing and monitoring what's happening in their network. And they look at those statistics daily. I know that for a fact.
You need to think of support when you're thinking of service. They go hand in hand. In my experience, the best relationships have come out of challenging situations. You need to be able to take that opportunity to help someone to really drive the relationship home and create more value long term.
With the support that Bigleaf gave and with the tenacity that they attacked the problem, it has really transformed the customer's business. And in fact, they did not replace anything in the solution. They were just able to make the necessary tweaks to make the solution right.